Hello, I'm Aperture and welcome to Rogue Tactics. Today I'm going to be showing you my going second control build of the magical Musketeer archetype. This archetype is one of my favorites, and I think the OTK version has fallen a lot out of favor in the competitive scene just because of how hard it is to pull off right now. So I decided to build a go second, break a board, and then maintain control with Casper and Doc variant using all the really strong go second cards we have currently in the format. So without further ado, here we go. Obviously, you start with 3 Starflyers as the main Musketeers. Special a card from deck, amazing effect. Level 4 for rank 4 plays. Best starter in the deck. You'll see her a lot. Now Casper. Casper is in a league of his own, being able to search any other Musket card every turn during either player's turn. Simply amazing effect, combos well with nearly anything. Amazing defense for no reason. But hey, he does what he does. Goes into max. Usually will get at least 1 or 2 searches off before he leaves the field. Your secondary muskets, like Kid Brave, while not as good as Casper and Starfire, are good in their own regards. Discard 1 to draw 2. Has to be a musket card though. Still good cycle, and you play a lot of musket cards. He thins the dead muskets out of your hands. You can special summon them later with Calamity or shuffle them back with Wild. But drawing 2 is an incredibly strong ability. He also has 1600 attack, which is the second strongest musket. These are all pretty weak. Now, we got your main guy. Him and Casper. Now, these guys, these are your best friends. If you have Casper and him out, Casper searches, Doc recurs something you used the last turn, and you just loop it. So if you have Casper, him, and let's say Wild, Calamity, any other one, you can loop 3 musket cards every single turn during either player's turn. This is your win con. If you break a board and on Starfire, Casper, and Doc, it's incredibly hard to break, because you never run out of resources. Make sure to always see one of him turn 2 and not turn 1. Got your 1 of muskets. I mentioned Calamity earlier. She just specials a musket back from the graveyard. Good effect, good combo extender. You'll mainly be using her just to break boards. Not really on her own, and left alone on the board by herself doesn't really do much, because you do have to go neg to summon something from the graveyard, unlike every other musket who at least replaces the card in your hand with something else. You got 1 Wild. He's your pseudo disciples, you know, he shuffles 3 back to draw 1. Him, Doc, and Casper let you draw essentially 3 cards every turn during either player's turn, and he is the strongest musket. He may not be that good in his own, but he's like Doc, where once you're set up, he's just a free draw every turn. Incredibly strong, and because the meta is kind of grindy right now, I'm playing him, and if it wasn't, I probably wouldn't. Now on to the main deck spells. Because this is a go second variant, we have access to all these, amazing back row removal and front row removal cards. And one of the strongest monster effects negation cards in the game right now is Dark Ruler No More. This card makes the deck. Being able to main deck Dark Ruler No More against, let's say, Spirals is absolutely broken. You just Dark Ruler and you can clear their entire board with like 1 musket, because Casper and Starfire both are 1 card clears. And a lot of people won't expect this variant, because when they see muskets they go, oh, I'm going to get Utopia Double OTK'd. But you basically can't target anything this meta, and if you can, it pluses off of it being targeted or destroyed or something. So you have to set up a board and make sure you can stop it from recurring right now, and Dark Ruler No More essentially allows you to do that. Also, if you play it behind the musket, you get a free plus. Pretty nice. Some other musket spells and traps. You got Cross Domination, obviously your 3 of. What can I say? Turn something to 0/0 and negates its effects, and is a quick play, and you can play it during either player's turn. This card will win you games. This card is the best musket card. It's so strong. Now you have your pseudo Cross Doms. You got your Forbidden Chalices. I play this card because a lot of decks right now in this format like going second. And muskets as an overall archetype aren't very good going first, because our Link Monster Max is essentially a hard go second card, because you can't even use it when you go first. So this card, being a quick play, is like having another Cross Dom. You just set it behind a musket and you activate it during their turn. It's a free negate, and having generic negates in a deck that pluses off back row is very strong. This card also stops VFD randomly, because you can activate it during whenever, because it's a quick play. Another random quick play I play is Offerings to the Doomed. Now this is a very old card, and a lot of decks don't utilize it because it isn't that amazing of a card. But in a Musket deck where you plus off of it, it's a free pop, a free search, a free quick play, and in the current meta, it can stop rank up plays. You activate this during the standby or in response to the activation of rank up, you pop their target and it doesn't go off. It's like having Trident on a stick, and the other Musket trap, Desperado, does essentially the same thing, and that's main decking 6 destruction cards, and basically no deck can do that. On to some more generic cards. You got Instant Fusion, get your Thousand Eyes or Millennium Eyes out, stop a hand trap, eat a monster, and then go on a Link Revo. Good card, play it behind a Musket, get free cards. Lose 1,000 life points, but life points don't matter in this game anyways. Now you get your main deck Mystic Mine. Ah yes, Mystic Mine. Mystic Mine, amazing against basically any Go First deck. It stops hand traps too, so if you're really worried about hand traps and your opponent has more than one monster on the field, you play this down, you go into max, and you search like 5 cards, or special 5 cards, and then just get rid of it through your own effects. It's an amazing card in this current meta. It just stops everything. It prevents us from dying, it prevents us from being hand trapped, it prevents your opponent from using monster effects. What doesn't that card do? Terraforming is to search the Mystic Mine. You play it behind a Musket, you get another search. It's terraforming. Same with Upstart. Play it behind a Musket, you get 2 cards. Ooh. Wish this card was at 3. Muskets would probably benefit the most off of that. 1 Monster Reborn. The deck has a big weakness to your normal summon being negated, so having a recovery card for that is pretty good. Same with Crooked Crown, but this is a better card than that. And sometimes you can go for like game with this card, or just randomly extending behind a Musket. Let's say, you know, Starfire or Calamity will get you 2 monsters instead of 1, and you can take your opponent's graveyard sometimes. Very good card. Play behind a Musket, get free pluses. Essentially every card in this deck. Now onto the traps. You got 3 Desperados. This is like Offerings to the Doomed, except doesn't have a downside. It pops a face-up card too, not just a face-up monster. Very strong, generic pop. Very good. And obviously we're a Go second deck, so I'm main decking 3 evenly matched. A lot of times you'll bait things out and be like, oh, I have an Evenly or Dark Ruler or all these other random cards in my hand, and you just plow through a board, set up a Casper to dock, and proceed to win the game by looping Cross Dom, Desperado, and Dancing Needles, or Last Stand. Self-explanatory here. Very, very strong against Spirals, very good against Ultrageist, very good against a lot of other decks. Not good against our deck, though. And now the one-of traps. I play 1 Crooked Crown, specials a Musket during either player's main phase, combo Extender, combo Recovery. You can get Solemn, set this, and at least have a Musket the next turn. And it leads to a lot of very long combos regarding Casper and Starfire if your opponent has like more than 1 monster or more than 1 back row. It's probably like one of the best traps, but like if you see it at anything more than 1, it's dead. 1 Last Stand. It's a quick play red reboot, Infernity Berry, whatever you want to call it. It stops the spell or trap's activation. Quick, and it's a counter trap. Very strong, but right now most of the traps people are playing are Solemns. And if you try to summon a Musket and they try to Solemn it, you can't activate this in response because the summon hasn't been completed and you don't have a Musket on the field. So I was playing it at 2, and that happened so often, and this card was so dead in all of those situations, that I ended up just dropping it to 1. And then 1 Dancing Needles. Triple DD Crow during either player's turn is pretty good. You loop it, banish 3 cards every turn from either player's graveyard. You can use this card to stop Called by the Grave too by banishing your own card in response. I've done it a couple times, it's won me a couple games, and overall it's one of the best cards to loop with Doc and Casper. And it will win you against any graveyard deck. Just hard win. Now on to the extra deck. 1 Exciton Knight. If he resolves against a back row deck, or a deck you can't really get over, blows up the field, lets you play the game. Good card. Probably shouldn't have been unbanned, but like, he's not that good right now. I imagine he'll get good later when you can make, you know, incredibly easy ways to make him, just out everything with him. But, still a strong card. Instant fusion targets, Millennium Eyes and Thousand Eyes. Stop a hand trap, stop a monster effect, eat a card, go into Link Revo. Easy. Muskets plus off instant fusion. So, very strong combos. Now, the card you play the deck for, Magical Musketeer Max. He does everything. He searches all the cards in your deck. He specials all the cards in your deck. He's a Link 1. The only thing he doesn't have is good attack. Like, if you resolve this card against an opponent's setup board, you will win that game. And most of the cards in this deck are specifically designed so that he resolves. You have Mystic Mine, you have the Desperado, you have the Crossdom, all these things to help him like resolve and search all those cards. You will probably use 2 to 3 of him every game. Now into the generic rank 2s. Security Dragon, Underclock, Nightmare Cerberus, Nightmare Phoenix. All good generic 2s. And they all have the benefit of pointing either down or up. Max points down. So you get co-linked effects, you can draw cards. And this one you bounce a card. And Underclock Taker is there specifically when you can't really make anything else and you want another effect, because sometimes you won't be able to have something that co-links with this. And just having like a Musket under this to lower their attack by like 1500 will sometimes let you get over key threats. Now onto the Link 3s. You have Ningirsu. This card has been a staple in Musket since forever. He'd let you get over untargetable cards like BLS Link. He outs random things. Like, he just sends 2 cards in the field to the graveyard, 1 from each side, and he can send your own Mystic Mine. He can send himself, so you have no monsters in the field and get rid of, you know, a key threat while also having Mystic Mine in the field. He's 2500. The only really downside he has is he doesn't point down. So you have to play like a Link 4 or something else that just requires 2 things. I have Topologic Dressmania, Anti-Back Row, what can I say? You essentially sacrifice a max at any time, get rid of all the back row on your opponent's side of the field, and burn them for whatever. Strong card. Very, very good against some decks, very bad against others. And I have one outlier here, and that's Berserker of the Tenyi. I don't like him. I'm playing him because Muskets with Dark Ruler can get over a Spiral's entire board with 1 card, because this is the only Link 3 in the game that has higher attack than Sleeper. So you just blow up the Resort, the Last Resort, make him out of the Phoenix and the Max you used, and just run into Sleeper and blow up their entire board. It's really stupid. It works though, so I play him. And then the big boss monster I was mentioning is Unchained Abomination. 3k beater that pops things. End phase, he pops something. You pop something, he pops something. You attack and destroy something, he pops something too. And that's during either player's turn, and you play Offerings to the Doomed and Desperado, both of which trigger this. So at nearly any time in the game, if you get this out and you have one of those pop cards in your hand, which you can loop with Doc and Casper and Wild, you get upwards of 2 pops every single turn. On a 3k body, that points 3 down. Super good. Now onto the side deck. I did mention that Muskets have some issue against back row dot decks, so you have to play a lot of things that get over that. You're already main decking 3 evenly. You have a Last Stand. You got something, but you don't have anti-magic arrows. This is because Red Reboot's at 1. I would be playing through Red Reboot, obviously. But if you resolve this card against a back row deck, and you can't even respond to this card in the first place, and then you resolve Max, you summon like 5 from deck and then board wipe them. You can go in Axiton, you can link up from Cerberus, Phoenix, Ningirsu, Abomination, anything goes really. Incredibly strong card against back row, useless against everything else, but that's our big weakness. 3 Cosmic Cyclones. Get rid of back row, banish it so they can't recur it. Pays 1k, and Muskets, their hand is their resource. So Twin Twisters, while a good card, you don't want to go neg 1 in this deck. It hurts really bad. You're 1 red reboot. Rip Red Reboot. Does what it does though, it's still a strong card. And the other weakness of this deck is being forced to go first against an OTK deck. Something like Dinosaurs, where they're like, you can go first, and we're like, oh, what do I do now? So you side a ton of cards just to stop yourself from being OTK'd, because you want them to set up a board, and then you want to be able to just go through that board with Dark Ruler, Evenly, all the other cards depending on the matchup. So, 3 Spooky Dogwoods. Under this card, you can't be OTK'd. You just wait for them to summon a card, wait for them to activate something that specials or something like that, activate this, gain the life points, and either your opponent stops, and they're stuck with like 2 things, and at least you get 2 searches off Max next turn. Or they just kind of go right through it, and they power through, and you're at like 40k life points the next turn, and you get like 2 or 3 turns off of that. And a lot of people will just do that. It also helps you win in time, but like, You don't die. Because you're main decking Mystic Mine, got Metaverse, free Mystic Mine during their turn. Can I say that? And Demise of the Land, which is another Metaverse. Doesn't stop, Twin Twisters from destroying it, but most people against Muskets won't side back removal. You might get Lightning Stormed, but this will still be here. You can still activate this in response, all these other things. And resolving this against, let's say, Dinos or Invoked or any of those decks will stop their turn, let you have a second turn. And this is more a filler right now. 2 Threatening Roars. You can't die. You wait for them to set up like 2 cards. Can't be ashed. Not a single hand trap works against this, and your monsters can't die. And unlike Wabaku and all those other random spells and traps that stop you from dying, it prevents your opponent from attacking, so Ultimate Conductor King Tyranno, the dinosaur card, can't banish your monsters. And you're at least left with like a Casper or whatever you have in the field. Unless they decide to pop it, of course. And that would be it for my Go Second Control Musket deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope anyone who is interested in playing Muskets gives it a shot. Thank you.